What up, what up, what up? We are live, my friends. Let's check the charts. All right. So it's a new day for Bitcoin. So let's do what we do every day. Go to the daily chart. Zoom in. Let's get rid of this for now. So let's do this here. All right. What happened? I missed a day? Did I miss a day? Looks like I missed a day. So delete those. Delete. So that was the low and the high for 2 days ago. This was yesterday, and this is today. Oh, I didn't miss a day. Duh. Okay. So this is today. Well, actually, this is so again for Bitcoin trades 24/7, 365. So a new day for Bitcoin starts at 0000 UTC, which in Utah, Mountain Standard Time is at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So a new day for Bitcoin started 2 hours ago. So we're a couple hours in for the new day. So let's mark out the high for yes. Whoop. That's not what I want. Okay, we need a horizontal line. There we go. So we go horizontal line, and daily is green for me. Choose whatever colors you like. You can also change the colors of the candles if you want. You could change these to, let's see here. Where do you go? Settings. I don't know. Maybe I'll show that in another video. But yeah, you can change the color of these candles. You can change the color of the parallel channel. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know in my other video or on my other chart, my parallel channel is blue. This one on my Femex account, on my mock trading account, it's green with a red center line. In my trading view account, it's just all blue. So choose your own colors. I don't care what colors you choose. I like red and green. So I keep it red and green. And then on the daily, back to the charts here. So got the low of the day, got the high of the day. This red line here is the high of last week. So I marked that out on Sunday. This red line here is the low. This red line here, see, is the low of last week. Okay. And this, let's zoom in a little bit. Or, yeah, or I just moved my mouse and that. So this purple line here is the low of last month. And this purple line right here is the high of last month. These yellow lines are my Fibonacci. And if you don't know what a Fibonacci is, come and check out my Thursday night masterclass and I will teach you. I go over the basics of trading and how to use, actually, what to use, the proper indicators to use, which ones are noise. Most of them are noise, but that's okay. As long as you understand which ones work good and which ones don't, then trading becomes a lot easier. So, but right now, I'm just doing a quick video for the market open. So, we got the low and the high of yesterday marked out. Okay. This the white lines are also part of my Fibonacci. So I might as well just explain it since we're here. See these numbers right here? Those are the Fibonacci sequence. So you got your 236, your 382, your 0.5, and your 618. Okay? What it is if you zoom out or see this dotted line here, that was the move from the high of 126 all the way down to 80,500. So the Fibonacci measures that. So if I get rid of it and just add it back, you go wick to wick. Okay. So wick to wick. And that puts lines on your chart that act as support and resistance and also measure the move. So as you can see from here to here, where we're at in price, it has been, so the white is the 236. So it's been 0.236% to 100%. So if it goes all the way back to this price, if it goes all the way back to 126, then that's 100% move. Not 100% move like in gains. It moved 100% back to its original position. So an easier way to explain it is, let's say it gets to this yellow line right here. That's 0.5. 50% of the way back to 126,000. Okay? So right now we are below the 0.5. So what that means is if you're buying Bitcoin right now, you're buying it at a discount because you're buying it below the 0.5. We're not even 50% of the way back to 126,000. So if you're buying Bitcoin right now, that you're smart. You're part of the smart money crowd. Okay? If you are selling Bitcoin right now, you are selling Bitcoin at a premium, and the buyers of that Bitcoin are buying it at a discount. Now, if you continue to buy above zero point 0.5, so once it gets to 103,000, if you continue to buy, you're buying at a premium. So all that means is you could have bought it at 80,000 down here, but now you're buying it at 105,000 or whatever the price is. So all I'm getting at is now is a good time to buy Bitcoin. This is not financial advice. It's just an opinion and purely educational. So if you buy Bitcoin and you lose money, don't come crying to me, okay? Because if you know my strategy, you will never sell your Bitcoin anyways. So don't ever, just learn how to stack more Bitcoin and just stack more and stack more and stack more. And then once you have a bunch of it, say you have 10 Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin. If you let's say you have one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin right now is worth what's the price? 92,000. You can take that Bitcoin, put it in a wallet, go into decentralized finance land where credit doesn't matter. All they care about is what assets you hold. You can take that Bitcoin, put it in a wallet, and borrow up to 50%. So if you hold one Bitcoin, you can borrow 45 grand like that. They'll send you in seconds, you click a button, and in seconds, you receive $45,000 in USDT. Now, if that's not powerful, I don't know what is. So if you don't understand what the hell I'm talking about, then you need to learn this stuff because it's the future of finance. It's where we're going, it's where we're headed. Donald Trump, the president, has signed all these laws into place that will now allow this stuff to flourish. So, a good way to analyze it, I guess, if you're a deep thinker or whatever, you got to think about this like the dot-com bubble. I didn't really experience the dot-com bubble. I was a teenager. I was 17, 18, I think. I had no clue what the stock market was. I had no clue what the hell financial markets were. I didn't know what a commodity was. I didn't know what a bond was. I didn't know what insurance was. I didn't know any of that stuff. So now, however many years later, all of this stuff that I've learned over the years, I can now apply to real life. So if you don't understand this, you do need to understand it. And you can come to my Thursday night masterclass and learn this stuff. Ask me anything in the comments. I'll answer all your questions until the end. I will stay to the end. Ask me anything. I need a drink. Where is it? There it is. All right. So let's see. Where were we? So not financial advice, just purely educational. But if you buy below zero point 0.5, you're getting Bitcoin right now at a discount. So as you can see, this is my mock trading account. I'm in a position here. Okay. I added contracts earlier when the price. So I just zoomed in. Okay. So we went from the daily chart to the 3-hour chart. All right. So it's just all of the all of the movement that happens in price. You can go down to a ticker where it's seconds, where you can see the price move in seconds. People watch that stuff and trade that stuff. I do not trade that stuff. I stick to the higher time frames because that's the smart thing to do. So if you've been sold a course that teaches you how to trade the 1-minute chart or the 3-minute chart or the 5-minute chart, then you're just giving money to the markets probably. So stay away from the lower time frames. You want to don't ever go below the 15-minute time frame. So this is the 3-hour time frame. As you can see, it's staying within this range here. It's staying within this parallel channel. Okay. So if you didn't buy down here and you didn't buy down here and you didn't buy down here and you think it's going to continue to go up, we are on a red candle. So like I said, I already added contracts back. You can see my entry was this red line here. Or no, that's the price. My entry was this green line here. And I'm in profit a little bit, right? That's not that this is doesn't matter because if you have been following me long enough and watching my videos, then you know that we never exit our position. We're always continually adding to our position and scaling out of our position. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, come and check me out Thursday nights, every Thursday night on my YouTube channel here, 5 p.m. Eastern. I got a ton of videos on my YouTube channel already. You can check them out. Every video I post has a ton of golden nuggets. If you were to watch all of my videos, and I don't even have as many videos as some other people, but some of the other people, their content is nowhere near as good as my content. My content is far superior to everybody's content out there. You know why? Because I give it away for free. Everybody else charges. The only thing I charge for is my one-on-one. That's it. So if you're new and you want like a one-on-one help setting something up, anything, whatever you need help with, that's the only thing I charge for. You can get me personally for however long you want. So back to the charts. Anyways, that's the 3-hour chart there. So let's go down to the 15-minute. So as you can see, it just zooms in a lot. So every time I see this uh, pattern, you see this pattern repeat over and over and over and over again in the markets every day. Not every day, but a lot. Doesn't that look like a snake to you? It looks like a snake to me. So every time you see that, like just buy the dip, man. Buy those red candles and wait for it to pump. See all these green candles right here? So I bought if you okay, here you go. Here's some alpha for you. If you need to make money uh as an income. I don't trade for income. I trade to get more Bitcoin. That's the only reason I trade. My income comes from the businesses I own and the real estate I own. It's all about cash flow. How much cash flow can you generate every month? The the game is generate more cash flow than your expenses. Then you win. If you can generate more cash flow than your expenses every month, then you're set. So, if you want to learn how to do that with other people's money, you don't even need your own money. Just use the bank's money. They give it out for free. Just go to the bank, get a credit card for $5,000, buy something for 1,000, pay it back. So now you're back to $5,000 in credit. Go ask for a raise or a limit increase. Say you want 10,000. They give it to you because you're a good steward of that credit that they gave you. Don't be like me and mess up your credit when you're young. You don't want to do that. If you have done that already, then you want to work with business credit. You want to go get a business and use the business's credit. That's what I did. Since my personal credit was messed up, the SBA gives people straight out of bankruptcy loans for businesses. That's the whole purpose of the SBA is to give out loans to people with bad credit, people who are entrepreneurial and can show the SBA that you have a plan and that you know what you're doing. So if say you're a plumber and you want to buy some dude is retiring, he has 10 vans, he's built up his plumbing business over the years. You've been plumbing for 20 years, let's say. So you got the experience. You can go to the SBA, tell them you found a plumbing business for sale and that you need the money for this plumbing business. And you buy the plumbing business and then you step back and you just observe and you're there for support because that plumbing business already runs itself. But because you have the experience and because you put a badass plan together for the SBA, they see you as a good steward over that business. and it's government money. So they have to get rid of it every year. So if you strategically apply at the right time, well, the SBA has all this money that they have to get rid of before the end of the year. So do that a few times. Say you do that with three businesses, put three managers in place in those businesses, and then you just make sure that those businesses run themselves with those managers, and you just sit back and collect the cash flow. It's just like real estate, but with businesses and way less headaches. Well, unless you get good tenants. But I've heard horror stories of people with rentals that they have nightmare tenants. So businesses, unless you have a nightmare management team, I think it's way better than real estate. Because as long as you have a good management team in place that's running that business like a well-oiled machine, like most businesses run if you have a good product, then you just become an absentee owner and collect the cash flow. And you can do it all with other people's money. You don't even need your own money. You do need good credit though. And there's a shit ton of people out there with good credit and no idea and no. I got a perfect example. I got a brother in law who gives money out to people with businesses. He's been doing it for years, hasn't even come up with his own idea of a business to start or do. He still works every single day when he could have retired off of just investing in three businesses. So when you understand this stuff, it becomes very, very powerful. And you use it like a tool, not like a fool. All right. So another thing on the chart here, as you can see all these green candles here, that was a fast move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 green candles in a row. Fast. You can pretty much count on the price retracing when that happens. And that's where the Fibonacci comes in. So watch this. So, as you can see, we are at the 0.5. So, if you're selling Bitcoin right now, which a lot of people are, because when the markets move like this, really fast, steep rise like that, it can't sustain itself like that. So you have to know when to get out. So a lot of people, right? So newbies, they'll get in right here, right? And then they'll get out right here because they're like, oh, it's not going to go higher. There's no way it could go higher, especially when it hasn't been going higher for the past, what, 4 days? So everybody's like, okay, I guess it's not gonna pump. And then boom, eight green candles. Oh, let's see. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Yeah, eight green candles. And if you count eight, nine, 10, 10 if you count that. So what they call this is they call this fading the move. And what you do to fade the move is you wait for see all these candles here, how there's no wicks on them. It's just green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle, no wicks. No wicks at all. Just boom, shot up. So what you do in that when that's happening is you wait for a wick to appear. So let's zoom in here real quick. Hold on. So see these wicks right here? You wait for a wick to appear and then you fade the move. So that's a and what that means is so everybody thinks it's going to continue to go higher, but since you know market structure and you know what wicks mean, you fade the move and you sell. So that's why it's been going down and it's still going down. So now what you do here is it you wait for a clear reversal. So that looks like it could be maybe, right? So there's a lot of people that are because you see these wicks right here, there's a lot of people that are entering long positions here because they think it's going to go higher. Okay. Now, you never enter a position when you think it's going to go higher if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. That's the cool thing about not needing to use trading for income. You just use it to make more income with the income that you earn. So, say you have $10,000 laying around, you put $10,000 into a trading account, right? And then you just buy $100 here, $100 there when it's down, right? Never on green candles, never at the top. Okay. If you do that, you're stupid. That's what the dumb money does. Okay. So just be strategic about it and know when to buy, which you do because you have the knowledge now. That's what you've been learning. It's what I've been teaching you. Okay. And then when you mix 10% or 10x leverage with that $100 that you just used or that you just invested into more Bitcoin, that $100 became $1,000 because you're using 10x leverage. That's the power of leverage. You know how you can go out and buy a house for only 10% down or 20% down or 3% down if you go get a conventional loan? You can buy a house for 3% down. Where does that 90% come from or that 97% come from? The bank just creates it out of thin air and gives it to you, and they create a mortgage, a paper document that says, okay, you're now a mortgagee. Again, free money created out of thin air. You can go buy a house if you got good credit and you got 3% down. So the system is not rigged. You just got to know how to use it, and you got to have good credit. So again, You don't just buy on a whim. Buy when there's a signal telling you to buy. Okay? So how will you know when this trend has reversed? Okay? The only real way is if it gets above this high right here. What does price do? What do I say? Every time in most of my videos, my previous videos, where does price go? Goes to where the liquidity is. Where's the liquidity? There's always liquidity sitting at a high. So, do you think price will return to this high? Doesn't matter. You know why? Because if it doesn't return to this high, then it's going to return to this low right here. So, all you got to do is hedge your bet. If you think it's going to go high, then open a long. If you think it's going to go low, then open a short. And then just wait to see which way it goes. And then whichever way it goes, cut your losses from the other one. Okay? So you could do that if you wanted to. And if you are a retail trader and part of the dumb money crowd, you could do that. Or you could just stack more Bitcoin upon more Bitcoin with money that you got coming in from those businesses that you own, or the cash flow that you got coming in from the real estate that you own. Again, just use trading to make more money with the money that you already have. If you don't like Bitcoin, then just stack more US dollars. It's just in digital form. It's called USDT, US dollar tether. And if you don't trust US dollar tether, then use USDC. And if you don't trust USDC, Trump just signed into law USAT, USA Tether. He partnered with Tether, the creators of USDT, to create a USA digital tether. So if you want to go deep on this, we can. So Tether is a digital dollar, right? It's pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar, and it's backed by US treasuries. So the US treasuries are, which actually doesn't make sense to me, because if a bunch of people were buying US treasuries, wouldn't the US dollar go up? I don't know. Somebody post that in the comments for me. That just makes my brain hurt when I got to think that hard. This is another reason why I hate the lower time frame charts. Let's zoom out real quick. Ready? All right, back to the 3 hour. Let's check out the 6 hour. All right. Nice, nice. Now look at, where's the liquidity? Can anybody tell me where the liquidity is above us? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Very good. That purple line right there is a bunch of liquidity, and that's a small line compared to the one on my TradingView account. There's a ton of liquidity above us. So again, just buy below the point 0.5. So as long as you're buying below 105,000, that's pretty good. Really good if you're buying below 100,000. Okay. Now, let's play devil's advocate for a minute. What if it drops to, let's say it drops to 15,000? That was the bear market bottom of the last, uh, so that's how low it went the previous cycle, if you want to look at cycles. So let's look at, so Bitcoin moves in cycles, 4-year cycles previously. Now, because the institutions are involved and because of all the ETFs that got approved, there's more liquidity in the market. And so what that means is it's less volatile than it used to be. That's why you're not seeing the big swings like you did before. So the swings are not as noticeable, I guess is a good term. It's just maturing is another good word for it. So let's say that it drops back to 15,000. Okay. Now, when you understand leverage, you can make money on the way down. Okay. So while most people, most retail traders, they will buy when it's pumping, right? So, and the reason that happens is because most people go to their job every day. They're not hardcore Bitcoiners like me. They're not watching the price every single day. They just maybe check their Coinbase account every so often, right? They heard about this new technology and if you buy some now, it'll be worth so much in the future, blah, 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 right? Whatever narrative they heard, whatever narrative they bought into, right? So they're not watching the charts every day like I am. So when they hear on the news that Bitcoin's at 126,000, they're like, what? Bitcoin's at 126,000? It was just at 90, right? The last time they checked their Coinbase account, it was at 90. And then now it's at 126. What? That's probably the reason for this big drawdown here. 90,000 to 126. That's a lot. Now add 10x leverage to that. Add 50x leverage to that. That's what I'm at right now. See, now when you know what you're doing, you can do that. Again, this is not financial advice, purely educational. If you buy Bitcoin and go put 50x leverage on it and you blow up your account, do not come crying to me. But anyways, even 100,000. Let's say you bought 100. Let's say you bought 10 Bitcoin at $100,000, and it went up to $126,000. Now, if you don't understand the technology, like Wall Street doesn't, nobody buying the ETF is knows what Bitcoin is or what they're buying. You know why they're buying it? Because that's the narrative they're being sold on television and the news. They don't care. Their financial advisor told them, hey, if you buy Bitcoin now, 10 years from now, it'll probably double, which it's not. It'll probably 10x from here, probably 40 or 50x from here. But what does Wall Street tell you? Oh yeah, it's a good it's a good hedge. You might make a little bit of money maybe. But that is just the world we live in, my friends. Okay? People are lazy. They don't want to go do their own research. They don't want to learn anything new. They like the way things are. They want everything to stay the same, which is fine. They can stay the same. They don't have to take part in technology if they don't want to. That's fine. Nobody cares. I certainly don't. I care about myself and the Lord above me. That's it. And I do care about my pocketbook a little bit. But most importantly, I care about Bitcoin. I am a Bitcoin evangelist. Indeed, I am. Yes, I am. I am. I am. I will I will preach it until the day I die. Oh, on another note, if you do die, make sure you have the right protection in place. Okay? Again, I teach this stuff and I got free guides that teach it as well. But if you have a lot of assets, make sure that those assets are protected. Make sure that if somebody died in your rental, that they can't come and sue you for everything that you own. That would suck. So let's go check the 12-hour. Zoom in a little more. Boom. And back to the daily. Okay. Let's go to the weekly. All right. See what happens when you zoom out. Okay. So you said what happens if it goes to 15,000? That's way down here. Okay. You can't play this game if you don't have money. You've got to have money. Okay. So as you can see here, my liquidation is way down here. If I saw, okay, let's go over here. Okay. If I saw price sharply reverse here on the weekly, let's remove the chart or the, okay. So when you zoom out and you see on the weekly here, look, we got two green candles here on the weekly. Every other time, not every other time. That's why I like the weekly, is because the weekly tells a clear picture. See here, it took 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 weeks of red candles. But if you go to the daily, that's over 50 days. So when you zoom out, it's a lot cleaner. It's only 7 red candles. And you can clearly see we are in an uptrend overall. But if you're like a lot of people out there, they're like, nope, this is the end. The 4-year cycle is intact. We're going to 50,000. Or, okay. So this down here, it was the bear market bottom of the last run. So 15,000. So if we go to the monthly, okay. So I'm on Femex. Femex only has been in existence since 2023 here. So it's, or at least that's when they started listing futures on their platform. Okay, but you can clearly see, so yeah, what's up with that? What in the world? My Femex doesn't have enough data. So I'm gonna have to call Femex support and see why I don't have the rest of the chart on here. So let's go to trading view, okay? And it'll show a better picture. Whoops, wrong one. That's trippy. Trippy. Where is it? Where are you, trading view? Oh, trading view, where are you? Let's look at liquidity. There we go. Not bad. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. There you are. So this is what's called the liquidity heat map. Because everything is open source in crypto, you can see where people hold positions. So see that bright yellow right here? That is where a lot of liquidity is. So that's could be where price is headed. Back below 90,000. It's possible. Or are we going to go, let's go back to trading view. So, trading view, look at you. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. So, I think we're going to this liquidity pool here, but we could sharply reverse, right? And go down. And what if we go down to 15,000 again, you say? Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked. I will answer that question. I will. Oh, yes, I will. Again, you got to have money to play this game. So people who understand Bitcoin will gladly buy Bitcoin at $15,000, as will I. I will be buying the whole way down with leverage, making money the whole way down. The same way, okay, so everything I'm teaching you as it's going up, you can do the same thing as it's going down. Okay. So I will cut my long position, right? I'm currently in my mock trading account. I'm up what, 150 bucks. And so I'm constantly just adding tiny, just a little Bitcoin here, a little Bitcoin there, right? But if it goes down to 15,000, I will continue to buy. I will continue to dollar cost average every day into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an asset. It's an asset. It's a digital asset. So the more of it I have, the better off I am. You know why? Because, like I said before, I can take that Bitcoin, I can put it in a custodied wallet with pretty soon you're going to be able to do this at the bank. That's what Trump has signed into law. He has given banks the green light to custody crypto and to lend against it. Go read the Clarity Act. So you can do this with the banks here shortly. You can already do it in Decentraland. Like I said, decentralized finance, you control everything. There's no middleman. If you go to the bank, they're going to take a bunch of fees. They're going to charge you to custody it, and they're going to charge you to trade it, which they do in Decentraland as well. But I can promise you it's going to be cheaper, and it's the sovereign way to do it. So if you're a sovereign like me and like a lot of people out there, then you want to custody your own Bitcoin. And you trust decentralized custodians over centralized custodians. So the more Bitcoin I have, the more of this digital asset that I have, the more I can take into decentralized finance land and borrow against it. So if I have one Bitcoin, like I said, you can take that Bitcoin, go into decentralized finance land, you can borrow 50% against it. I wouldn't recommend doing it now because we're at the top of a market. So you wait till we're at the bottom of a market. Obviously, the bottom of the market is going to be your best time to borrow, right? So let's say you had a Bitcoin. You have a Bitcoin and price goes down to 15,000. You're only going to be able to borrow 7,500, right? But if you borrow right now and price goes down to 15,000, you're going to get liquidated, even at 50%. So I would not recommend borrowing against your Bitcoin right now. But in the future, let's say let's say you buy Bitcoin right now, which you should be doing. I highly recommend it. Okay. Let's say you buy it right now and let's just be conservative. Let's say 3 years from now, Bitcoin is at, let's say, 250,000. Let's use longer and bigger numbers just because 3 years is not that long. 3 years is nothing. Okay. But it's a good time horizon just because you know why? Because it's all the time you have until we get a new presidency. So unless the Republicans stay in power, like rules don't usually get rolled back. So just how I'll give you an example. Obamacare. So Obamacare, what were the Republicans shouting when Obama put Obamacare into place? We're going to roll that back. We're going to roll it back. When we get into power, did they roll it back? No. They're even still talking about it today. And has it rolled back? No. And it won't get rolled back. Because you know why? Because it's too hard to push that through legislation again. Nobody wants to fight over that again. They already did. They've already fought about it. That's the same with crypto and with the bills and the legislation that Trump is putting into place right now. It's not going to get rolled back. He's laying the groundwork. If you know and understand what's going on right now, he's laying the groundwork for a totally new financial system, a totally digital financial system. If you don't know this and you don't understand it, then you don't know what's going on. Have you heard of XRP? Yeah. XRP is going to be the new digital asset of the banks. It's what the banks are going to use to transfer money between each other at the speed of light. Have you ever used XRP? That shit is fast. Way better than Bitcoin. Way better for moving money around fast. But if you want to move money around securely, then you use Bitcoin. If you need it to move fast, then you just convert your Bitcoin to XRP, send it where you need to send it, convert your XRP back to Bitcoin, and you're good. That's the coolest thing about these digital assets, is that it's just fast, quick, and easy. Once you get it and you understand it, it is the coolest thing in the world. And then you pair it with the metal crypto.com card. Crypto.com just hands out Visa metal cards. Now they have a credit card. You can get an actual credit card. Same through Coinbase, same through Gemini. You can get crypto credit cards. So instead of getting points, so you know how you get a credit card and it has points on it and you can use those points for hotels, airfare, whatever, right? You can get a credit card through Gemini or Coinbase. And instead of points, you get crypto. They'll give you back these digital tokens, XRP and Bitcoin. It's the coolest thing in the world. So you're getting paid. Okay. So right now you get these points and you think you're getting paid or you're getting value, right? Which is kind of valuable, I guess, but it's not as valuable as Bitcoin and XRP. I would way rather have Bitcoin and XRP than some points. Are you kidding me? I could go on like this for hours. So it's all about decentralization, being sovereign financially, spiritually, healthfully, foodily. You think your food's organic just because you buy it at natural grocers or Sprouts? If you're not buying it from a farmer's market or growing it yourself, your shit's not organic. I don't care how much you pay for it. All right. So you need to be sovereign in your food, sovereign in your money, sovereign in your religion, Everything. It's got to be sovereign, or it's not for me. Peace, love, prosperity. Yeah. Peace, love, prosperity. We need more peace, love, and prosperity. Yeah. Yeah, 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 we do. So, where does the money go? The money goes to liquidity zones. Liquidity zones. Where's the liquidity? It's always above equal highs and equal lows. So it either is going to go this way or that way. It's going to go up or down, folks. It does it all day long. Up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down, and all around. That's what it does. Yeah, that's what it does. Yeah. So if you weren't in here, wait for it to break above here. Once it breaks above here, wait for it to retrace and buy more. If you're buying here, make sure to hedge because it could go lower. If you weren't in here, then you shouldn't be buying here. Okay? Wait for it to retrace. What did I say? Don't buy on green. You buy on red. Never buy on green. Just following that one rule and it will make you a ton of money with the money you already have. You don't buy on green days. Never. Why would you? Unless you know what you're doing. So I think that's all I got for you folks. Unless you want to talk about stuff, put it in the comments. We're going on an hour, so a little over an hour. So I think we're good for now, folks. I will check back with you tomorrow. All right. Peace.